Ploughed you with the alcohol, so you say what you really mean.
Oh God, what have I done?
Okay, so what would your reaction be to the phrase political correctness gone mad?
I'd say like I don't agree with it as a phrase like just used all the time, but I think sometimes people get a bit too offended at like things that don't really matter. Like I think you get disconnected from the real world if you get offended by certain phrases when it's like I don't know, like everyone can live in a life that they don't get offended ever. But I just feel like if you live as a normal person, you're going to interact with random people who don't think the same way as you, so you have to be prepared for it. At the end of the day, don't be a dick and don't discriminate. People don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think you should try not to get offended by random people.
Yeah.
Because I think that can be an issue, and it's like, I don't know.
So would you say that potentially limits people, like it takes people away from like real issues potentially? Like
I think it stops people having proper debates and conversations about issues that matter to them.
Yeah.
So I think when someone says something that's like offensive or a bit like out of the normal, it's like it's easy to just be really dismissive and just be like, oh fuck off, I don't like you, I disagree with you on like a political level. But it's like I don't know. I think you have to if you want to ever make an actual change with the way people think or like actually discuss those kind of things, you have to embrace if someone's being offensive, you have to embrace that and be like, oh well,
why are they
even though you are this way, like I want to discuss it with you and like
you have to
understand your viewpoint, because people aren't born just like racist or anything.
People become like that.
But it depends where you're from. It depends like your views, but I don't know, and your experience as well.
And do you mind talking to me about what you voted in the EU referendum?
I voted to stay. Because I don't like change. And I mean, it's the kind of thing where like I understand the differences between people who voted leave and people who voted to stay, but it's like just from my point of view, like where I'm from and stuff, it wouldn't make sense. But I think it's just because I'm quite a middle class brought up person. I think it makes sense that of course I want to stay because I'm not experiencing as many issues as people who I don't know. I think it's good to like try and understand people who voted leave, because obviously the majority of people voted leave, so there's no point trying to like blank out and pretend it didn't happen, because it's like it's a genuine concern with the people living in England today or the UK today. And it's something that's now going to affect us for the next however many years because of us actually leaving the EU.
Well, my problem with it was when people were saying, oh, well, only a certain amount of people voted, but the percentage says this and the percentage says that. But and they were calling for like a recount. But if we had got our way, and then the Leave campaigners were calling for a recount, we'd be like, oh, don't be so undemocratic. It's like we're being quite hypocritical, I think.
I'd agree. I think it's like people only like democracy when it goes their way.
Yeah.
Well, like, not everyone, but I think it was one big issue where people are like, you know, it's the kind of like liberal art student-y whatever, like the kind of bubble that I live in with everyone I know is quite left.
Yeah.
Everyone's reaction to it at the time seemed to be just like, oh my god, what have you all done? Anyone who voted leave, remove me off Facebook, I hate you all, like you're ridiculous, you're gonna fuck me and my kids over. It's just, I think it's dismissive of the reasons why people did vote to leave. I think obviously I think there's some weight to the argument that like the Leave campaign was a bit dodgy in the sense that Nigel Farage seemed a bit too populist and he was a bit just like I don't know, almost manipulative in the way that they got votes. And I mean, there was the whole thing of like, it was like the next day when he went on like, was it Good Morning or whatever, where he goes and they're like, oh, so what's all this about money going to the NHS? And he was like, oh, I never made that promise. It was like, you have buses with it plastered across the side of it. How can you say you're like, well, I didn't make that promise?
Personally, as a UKIP never made that promise. That was a Boris Johnson promise. But
I mean, I think it all just comes down to people being pissed off with the current system. Like, I mean, it's understandable because like nothing's perfect, and it's just like people want to change because they're just tired, and people just want to like a better life for themselves. It's understandable when if you see no way of that happening with the current political system, you're given a chance to be like, oh, here's some actual change that could happen. Here's a referendum where your vote does 100% matter because it goes directly to the outcome. Because the thing about general elections is like you're voting for your local area. It doesn't even affect like the actual whoever's prime minister. You're voting for a bit of the country, and you just hope that everyone else is similar, so it all comes together. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the thing about because being from Leeds, where it's like a Lib Dem constituency, it means that because I voted Lib Dem in the last general election, but that was because our MP for Lib Dems is like, he seemed to actually give a shit rather than all the other parties. Like, the people in these just don't seem to care as much. Like, this year I'd say it's different, but like, at the time I think when you vote, it should always be about what your opinions are, not what you think the general outcome is.
Like allegiances to it.
Yeah, like, I don't think you should ever be like too biased towards anything, like a party, just because someone said that. I mean, at the end of the day, you're in a polling station, you just vote for what you think. And I think one thing that people should do is research as much as possible, because I think that's something that lacks a bit, where like people our age, like my entire Facebook is just plastered with people saying, oh, vote Labour now. And it's like, I understand that you're passionate about the party, but anyone who votes just because their friends or like their family say that they should, I think they just need to do more research and like, actually find out what works for them.
Sort of like bandwagoning in this generation.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Like with the sort of like social media and stuff, with very much we latch onto ideas very quickly. It's like there's popular opinions to have.
But I think there's just like unnatural kind of association with the way that each party looks. I think you see, as like quite a left liberal person, you see like Tories, and you're like, oh, there's all these bigoted old men and they're just awful. But like, obviously that's not 100% true. There's so many people. I mean, they are the majority right now, and they honestly probably will win the election. I hope they don't. Yeah. But I feel like just because of the way that the political system works, it's just kind of it's kind of set in stone. But the problem is that no one talks to any Tories. Like, you see people our age at an art course, like who goes about chatting away to like anyone who votes Tory? It feels like you're unwelcome if you talk about anything like that. And I think communication is the main issue with like the way that people decide they're voting. Okay,
so would you say it's wrong to sort of marginalise someone who's got
100%? Yeah, you should like. Even if someone seems to have like offensive, it's like, I mean, there was the whole thing when UKIP got really big, and there was all this like, it enabled a bunch of offensive people to be like, oh, I hate immigration, there are a bunch of people coming out stealing our jobs, all that kind of stuff. But it's like kind of stereotypical at this point. But like, most people who vote for UKIP don't think that way entirely, and they're pretty normal people. They just like, I don't know. It's just. I think there's just not enough conversations between the different parties. Like, people who vote for it a certain way, like, you just don't get as many people like on the same level. It's either you're like with my party or you against me, and it's just it's unhealthy when we are supposed to be a democracy. It's supposed to be like everyone's individual opinion comes together and then it forms how the political system works. But I think it's hard to like decipher, to be honest.
Fair enough.